Welcome everyone, I am here today to review two items, the first being the 36 watercolour half pans and the second being the 14 watercolour pad sheets. I believe this is 300 gram and it's £140. So you can do this on both sides. I've not even opened this yet because we're going to do this together. I've just opened the packaging, I've not had a good look, so that is exactly what we're going to do now. So the box will tell you the colours, but I'm just going to take the actual pan tin out and we're just going to have a look at the colours that you get. So within this tin we have 36. They are the Sunburst Yellow, Naples Yellow, Lemon Yellow, Cadmium Light, Aurelian Yellow, Golden Yellow, Yellow Ochre, Chrome Orange, Saffron Orange, Cadmium Light Red, Scarlet Red, Deep Red, Amaranth, Magenta, Violet, Blue Violet, Deep Ocean Blue, Oxford Blue, Indigo, Cerulean Blue, Phthalo Blue, Prussian Blue, Turquoise, Prussian Green, Jade Green, Spring Green, Fern Green, Colbert Green, Olive Green, Persian Red, Rust Red, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber, Mahogany, Sepia Brown and Black. So as you can see from the box, there is a big arrangement of colours and they are also very mixable. So I always say this with paints. When you have a set of paints, they aren't necessarily just the colours that you get on the box. They are very much something that you mix and you can get many colours from the ones that are provided. So it comes in a tin, which is always a bonus for me. The reason being is that you can mix your watercolours so well on both this side and this side. And you've also got some little wells which hold some watered down watercolour, and that always is a bonus with any tin, and I prefer tins over any other packaging. So with inside we have this watercolour already made up beneath. So this is a big bonus for me because I like to keep my swatches within my tins just so that when I open it I know exactly what I've got in my arrangement. What I also like to do is you will get inside on each pan the number and the name of the colour that this one is. And when you take this off, your pan will be completely clean of anything. So it will have the colour inside your little plastic part like this. But as you can see, there is nothing indicating which colour this is. And if this got mixed up, you would be a little bit lost on what to do. So what I generally do, it is time consuming. I just clip off, and I'll show you now. I just clip off the sides of each one and I take off the bottom as well, just so it's nice and easy for you, and I stick them on the bottom so that if you take the pan out you are now aware of which one that is and you won't lose the colour within the order of your swatches. You'll look for your swatch and you'll think, oh my goodness, I've lost which one. Just stick it on the bottom, and it's nice and already done in terms of stickiness for you, so you don't have to, you know, go and put sellotape or anything. So we've got these beautiful colours and we are going to unwrap them, and I will speed that part up and do a speed demonstration and voiceover for you on the colours on the swatch chart. I will also be demoing on the nice paper that we've been provided with, so we'll get to the swatches just very shortly. But we've also got this lovely watercolour paper. Now it is a pad and you take them off. This is for if you've got your sketches, you want to do your watercolour paintings. This kind of thing is really handy, and I always use 300 gram personally, so this is perfect. It is cold pressed. It's ideal for watercolour and mixed media, so you can put quite a few media on this. So we're going to just have a look at the texture. So just be careful of opening your packaging. So we're going to have a quick look, and as I said, I will demo, voiceover and give you my full opinion on everything at the end. And that's the best thing about these types of videos. You get an honest review and you get a demonstration and you see the colours. So that is exactly what this video is about. So I was kindly asked by Arteza to do this for them, and I am always keen to do something that I think people who watch the channel are going to benefit from, and we are all into doing watercolours. So I'm going to do a demonstration both wet on wet and wet on dry on the paper, and I'm also going to just do a very quick demonstration in a colour book using the pans that we've just opened, because that is what we are about over here. We want to know how they're going to be in our colour books. Straight away, this paper, I'm going to take one out because it's one that we're going to use, so you can remove them very easy because it's just a glue bound pad. There is a nice texture, and as you can hear, a heavy duty 300 gram, textured on both sides so you can use both sides for your watercolour. It feels on judgment straight away perfect. You always got to look for a nice texture. It's a slight ivory, so it's not bright white, but it is definitely a slight off-white watercolour paper. It's 9 by 12 inches and it comes with 14 sheets included, which is absolutely perfect for me. So we're going to do a little demonstration on this. As I said, I will section my paper off, and I just do that using a ruler, and I'll then section again, and we'll do wet on wet and wet on dry, and we'll also have a quick go of this gorgeous palette after we've swatched them in one of the colour books. So I hope you enjoy the rest. You will hear me again pop in here and there with my thoughts and exactly what I'm doing, but for now we're going to swatch and we're going to enjoy that.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
At this point, I've already just taken all those sticky parts off and added them on the bottoms, and now we're going to look at the amazing colours that's included in this pan set so that we can swatch them out. And I always say this is a good thing to do, and I think it's the most necessary part when you get a set of any kind, is to just give a quick swatch, have a look what you've got, so that you can refer to them then when you have your art project in front of you and you need to see which colours match the project that you are currently working on. So enjoy having a look at all these beautiful tones that I'm swatching out right now, and I will pop in and out and speak to you as we proceed forward. Enjoy! demonstrate on our colouring book. Now this is a slightly thicker than normal colouring paper, but it was a good way to demonstrate and get a feel how it would look with an illustration that is not my own project, and I mostly colour and we're a colouring channel, so of course we're curious, is this going to look good? And we all like to do a watercolour wash, or we like to experiment with watercolours in our colouring books and generally just have a good time. And I can honestly say that judging by how they felt to both do a wash of and build up colour and dry off and layer up again, this was an amazing set to do so, and I really did enjoy the process. It was a really relaxing time. I liked the pigment, I liked the way they layered, I liked how I could build up, especially when I've, you know, had a little bit of experiment with mixing. So enjoy the rest of this demonstration and I will speak to you on the next part. Our watercolor pad. So I have sectioned off into half and then into half again, and I am doing a wet on wet and wet on dry demo. So the one that you're seeing in your screens at the moment is a wet on wet. So I've just got some nice clean water and I'm covering every inch of the paper with a decent amount of water so that you've got a clean sheen and it looks wet on reflection. So that's when you know you've used a good amount. So how I use this is once I've saturated the page with some water, I get a decent amount of pigment on my brush and then we go in and graduate it down. When I then move on to the wet on dry, I have to use the pigment, but I have to work that little bit more because the paper's dry and it instantly grabs the pigment with the tooth that's already in your paper. So you'll see that one looks a bit more bold and vivid because you're having to use that bit more pigment, and with the wet on wet it just flows because you've already got a decent amount of water down on your paper. When I worked with both, I had a really nice experience. It worked really well on both the wet on wet and the wet on dry. I had a good time on both. The texture of the paper was perfect. I have barely any buckling towards the end once I've done a round 2, and it just held the pigment like it was supposed to. So I've really enjoyed this paper overall, and it is the one that I will use going forward with projects because of the amount of water it can hold. So it has huge thumbs up from me. They are really nice to use on this paper regardless. You've got your Arteza gouaches, you've got your Arteza pans, and you have Arteza watercolour tubes. So I should imagine all of these would work perfectly on this paper. So thanks for watching this part, keep enjoying, and I will see you right at the end with my thoughts on the entire project. I hope you enjoyed the demonstrations. So we demoed the colour palette, we demoed the wet on wet and wet on dry, and we also demoed in our colouring book. So just very quickly touching upon this, this was so nice and easy to lay down. The colours mixed beautifully. They laid down without any hesitation or problem or fighting against the paper. And I know this one is definitely one that has got a thicker paper for watercolour, but I don't think there will be issues with your other books as long as you don't saturate the paper, because that will not be watercolour paper. So just bear that in mind. But with mixing, with washing down, with layering up, with a heat gun, this is absolutely doable, and you can use these in your colouring books without problem. But coming back to the two products, so with the swatches, as you would have saw in the demo, we do have an amazing colour selection. However, I'm hoping that these 12 blank boxes are going to be that there will be singles added by Arteza, I hope. And the reason I say that is because only when you swatch and start to use do you realise what you're heading for and which colours that you actually wouldn't mind having in the set. So whilst I was doing the cherry blossoms in the colour book, with the magenta I would have really liked to have had a white to milky it down a little to make that soft pink. So I'm hoping a white might be added, but you can compensate with something else, or you can, you know, get one of your Arteza gouaches if you have them in your collection and use that instead, because you can water gouache down. I also would have liked to have seen a couple more of the natural sort of mossy tones, and also another brown that is between the burnt umber and the sepia. Some natural tones are always good to have, and it's kind of like a landscape palette that you're looking for, because you usually do head towards something a little bit more sort of natural. However, I was feeling for a Florida sunset, and the colours here, as you can see, fitted that mould with perfection. So we used a couple of the scarlet reds and amaranth, and then we used saffron orange and chrome orange. Then we used the cerulean yellow into the cadmium light into the lemon yellow and washed it down. So that was the perfect colour palette on your top line to do this kind of thing, and you can use this for your own watercolour paintings, you can use it as backgrounds in your colour books, you can use it for your entire picture as a base and then grab your Arteza pencils and add them on top. You can use them as bookmarks and make some bookmarks, or you can make some cards or little postcards that you want to send to people. There's so many options, and also using the paper you can cut and trim down to size or keep as the full 9 by 12 inches and make a painting. We're going to talk quickly about the paper and how I felt using it. So this was the wet on dry, and this was so nice to do. Obviously with wet on wet the colours just kind of flow, and that's because you've already layered down a big amount of water on your page, and then the pigment just flows. When you're coming to wet on dry you have to work that little bit more, but what you'll find is that on first time round and on first go round your colours will just be that much more bright, bold and vivid, and that's because you're putting a lot more pigment down because the paper's dry and you're working more. The tooth on the paper really did grab that colour perfectly, so I didn't have to keep going too much and blotting back. It really was a case, as you saw, of just go round first time, come again, and then we'd finish. So there was a nice sort of 2 rounds of colour, and the colours just moulded to the paper like they were made for it. So doubling them up was just the perfect combination. These worked so well together, and I would do a million projects with these paints and this paper. Going to the wet on wet, because it held so much, and as you can see there is minimal buckling, and I saturated this paper, so it takes a lot of water, which is good because a lot of the loose watercolour paintings that I'm learning are really saturated to start with. So that's a big bonus for me, and it's something that I personally look for, is that I can really, you know, be generous with the amount of water lay down. So if you are learning watercolours or you want to use them, not necessarily in your colour books, they're versatile for both, so you can use them both like, you know, we do on the channel, and I'm sure many of you do a base of watercolour
for a lot of your projects. So that is a bonus. They do have a nice range of colours. And don't forget, you aren't limited to the amount that's on the palette. You can easily mix them. You can mix various greens with browns to make a nice natural sort of dark green. You can do lots of browns with like olive green and burnt umber, for instance. You can sort of mix that to make nice landscape colours. You can mix your nice blues with a dark blue to make it deeper in the distance, coming into a nice light colour as you come forward if you're doing an ocean. Again, like I say, I'm really hoping they bring like a white, because it's lacking in a white, it's lacking in pinks, and I would like lighter sort of tones. So a nice light blue to do those nice blue skies would be nice. And just something more sort of that you can mix together and be able to dull the tone down, because you'll find that because they are so pigmented, you need something to just tone them down, or you can have a lighter version of. That's my only thing that I'd love to be added, that you can actually add in the tin, because there is space. So maybe Arteza will give us a few more pans that we can buy individually, we can add into there, and then we do really have the perfect palette. So I absolutely love them. I recommend them. I think they are nice to use, they're nice to look at. It's aesthetically pleasing as well as being a really good product. So there's always two bonuses to that, because you've got that, it makes you feel like you want to pick it up because it's a nice sturdy tin, it's a nice mixing tin, it's got some wells in there, it's got a water brush if you wanted a water brush on the go, it's got your little handy clip to hold when you're on the go, or if you're like me, you hold it quite a lot to bring it to your page. That's always handy to have. Plus it comes with a ready-made swatch sheet for you, so you don't have to do that. You can just go straight in there and do the swatching. But I really like the paper. I will be using it 100% in projects going forward. So with both of those in mind, I would love to say that they are completely a recommend from me. I loved both the paper, I loved the pans, I like the combination together, and I also like the fact that you can use these in our colouring projects on the channel. So there's a good silver lining to this, is something that we can use going forward as well. So I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember that this is an affiliate link below. So it's at no additional or extra cost to you. It just will give a little kickback to me, and also going forward, you know, more products come out that are suitable for the channel, then we can try them out and see also what you think. If there's something that you like, I would love to show you. So do pop me a thumbs up. Please join me on our live streams, because I'd love to see you. Until then, take care, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.